Hello everyone, welcome to day 11 of Come Sit at My Table's 12 Days of Christmas. Tomorrow will be our last video in this series of 12 treats for Christmas, so make sure you come back tomorrow and don't miss the last one. Today we are going to make brittle. Now when people think of brittle, they think of what? Peanut brittle. Peanut brittle was Melissa's grandfather's favorite candy, and most people love peanut brittle, but I love cashews. So today we're going to do cashew brittle in place of peanut brittle. Now you can use your favorite nut. If you love peanuts, then use a cup of peanuts, but you can also use pecans, pistachios, almonds, walnuts. Just about any nut you can think of will work in this recipe. And this is a microwave recipe. So there's no standing over the stove stirring and stirring until your candy thermometer reaches a certain temperature. This is pretty quick and easy. So let's get started making our cashew brittle. The things we're going to need for this recipe are 1 cup of sugar, just white granulated sugar, 1/2 cup of light corn syrup, and I'm using Karo, but you can use whatever brand you want. I'm a little partial to Karo syrup. I think if you're going to use light corn syrup, you might as well use Karo. Then we're going to use 1 tablespoon of butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 cup of nuts, and you can choose your favorite. And yes, I do have it heaping because I like a lot of nuts in brittle. And then 1 teaspoon of baking soda. The baking soda is probably the most important part of this whole recipe, because at the very end, after everything has cooked, we will stir in that baking soda at the very, very end, and it will kind of make that brittle puff up. It just fills it full of air bubbles. That's the most important part. If you don't put the baking soda in it, you don't have brittle. So we'll have to put that in at the very end. Also, I did want to mention while I'm thinking about it, a lot of people will stir their baking soda in. It kind of puffs up, and they pour it out on their sheet, and then they start stretching it and pulling it. If you do that, you're bursting those air bubbles in the brittle, and it just won't have the right texture for peanut brittle, cashew brittle, whatever you're making. So when you pour it out, try to pour it out thin if you can, and then try not to stretch it too much. If your nuts are piled up in a pile, yeah, you might have to separate those, but try not to stretch it any more than you have to. Okay, you're also going to need a large bowl. And this does need to be large because when we stir in that baking soda, it is going to grow in volume. You're going to need a heavy-duty spoon to stir this with. You're also probably going to need some kind of a little scraper or spatula to scrape the brittle off of your spoon. And then you're going to have something to pour the brittle on when you get finished with cooking it. Now, I'm just using a cookie sheet with a piece of parchment paper on it. I have not sprayed it or buttered it because I just don't like that greasy, buttery feeling on the bottom of my brittle. And parchment paper is very good about releasing, so I think we'll be fine with it. I've always been fine with it before, so we are not going to spray it. We're going to just leave it alone. Okay, let's get started. We're going to start by combining our sugar and our corn syrup, and we're going to microwave those together. I do want to get all of that out of there. I did spray my measuring cup with nonstick spray just to try to help that release a little bit better. And it does help it, but you know, corn syrup is so sticky that I don't think there's anything that would help it all come out. Now, we just want to stir the corn syrup and the sugar together some. Just start to get those combined. It doesn't necessarily have to be completely combined, but we at least need to get it started. And then we're going to microwave it on high for 5 minutes. Okay, that's pretty well combined. The sugar's not completely combined, but that's pretty close. So we're just going to scrape it all off here. Get it all off our spoon. And then we are going to stick it in the microwave. You know, I have made brittle the old-fashioned way, standing over a stove. And, you know, that's a great way to make brittle. It makes really good candy. But using the microwave makes it so much easier. All right, so we're going to go into the microwave. We'll set it for 5 minutes. And we're going to start. Now, I know you don't want to stay here and listen to me talk for 5 minutes. So we will let that run, and at the end of 5 minutes, when it's just about ready to come out, we'll come back and show you what we do next. All right, our 5 minutes are up. You can see that our mixture is boiling. You will need something to hold that bowl because it will be hot. So we're going to stir in our butter. We're going to stir in our vanilla. I'll just use my cap to measure a teaspoon. And we will stir in our nuts. Now,
throw it behind you on the microwave. It's still open. Just hit your head with it.
That's okay. I think it'll be fine. I'm just going to stick this right back in.
I just want you to forget about it.
Okay. I appreciate you telling me that. All right. So you can see that our nuts are all stirred in. I'm going to scrape off my spoon again because we want all that in there to cook. And we're going back in for 3 minutes.
I guess wattage of your microwave makes a difference here.
That's a really good point. Our microwave is 1,000 watts. So this final cooking, you will have to kind of adjust for your microwave. If your microwave's only 800 watts, then it's going to take longer. If your microwave is 1,200 watts, you might only need 1.5 to 2 minutes in this final step. But you'll just have to watch it. You will see that it changes color. You can watch it in the microwave and you'll see that it starts to get darker and darker. You don't want to burn it. So, you know, if you've ever eaten peanut brittle or you've eaten some kind of brittle, you know the color it should be. So if you see it get to that color and it starts to get too dark, take it out of the microwave. So watch your microwave and adjust the time for your wattage. Okay, we still have about 2.5 minutes. So when it comes out, we'll come back, stir in our baking soda, and pour it on our sheet. We'll be back. All right, our brittle has cooked. I'm going to stir in the baking soda. Okay, I hope you can see how that's changing. See how it's foaming up. And we are going to pour it onto our sheet.
Does this have to be done in a glass bowl?
Oh, that's a good question. I've never done it in anything but a glass bowl. I think it probably should be done in a glass bowl. Of course, it would have to be a microwave-safe bowl. Couldn't be metal or something like that. But, yeah, I would definitely use a glass bowl. Let me see if I can get some of that off of there.
Oh, I wish my grandfather in my pet pocket had some of this.
Yeah, I do too.
He would have enjoyed this immensely.
Yeah.
He would not have understood YouTube. He probably wouldn't have even understood computers, really, but...
Yeah. But he would have understood Cashew Brittle.
Yes, he would.
Of course, we wouldn't have made Cashew Brittle for him.
Nope. He would have wanted peanuts.
Yeah.
I don't know. He probably would have liked cashews, too. But...
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm going to try to scrape this as much as I can. Get some more of that candy out of there. Some of it's already hardened on the side of the bowl, and it's not going to come off of there. But we got a little bit here. So we'll just put that on. Try to spread that out a little bit, just gently. We don't want to burst all those bubbles. And
It sure smells good, honey.
We will let that cool, and then we'll break it apart and have some cashew brittle. All right, we'll be back as soon as it's cooled and ready. Our cashew brittle has been sitting here for probably 45 minutes to an hour, and it is completely cooled. And I want you to see that it picks right up off of the parchment paper. Didn't stick at all. The bottom of it looks really nice. If you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can see air bubbles all the way through it on both sides. So we know it's going to be really light and crunchy. Now, you just break this up the way you want to. You can just drop it and let it break up on its own, or you can just kind of hit it and it will break up. It's up to you how you break it up. If you like big pieces like this, then just leave them. If you like smaller pieces, then just break it apart. It's up to you. Here you can see the inside of it. Looks really nice. So you just break it up the way you want it. And if you want to give it as gifts, you just put it in Christmas tins or in a bag. Find a nice little gift bag and bag it up and take it to someone.
You're going to do your taste test?
I'm going to, don't you worry. I'm going to eat this little piece right here with 2 cashews in it. Listen to it. That is delicious. Man, that's good. You know, it's crunchy, but it's not hard. Because it's full of those air bubbles, it's not hard at all, but you still get that crunch. That is really good. And 7 minutes in the microwave. That's it. You can't get much easier than that. All right. Thank you so much for joining us for day 11 of our 12 days of Christmas. We do appreciate that you have joined us for these videos. If you would please go right below this video and click the like button. Also click the share button and share it to your own social media. And if you've not already, we sure would appreciate you clicking that subscribe button and the little notification bell beside of it and the word all. That just lets you join our channel, and YouTube will notify you every time we put up a new video. Also, right under this video, you'll see the name of this recipe. You'll see cashew brittle. If you click that title, that box will expand. Melissa always puts the written recipe right there for you, so you have it written out, and our contact information is at the bottom of the box. Thank you again for watching. We do appreciate all of our subscribers and those of you who watch our videos. It means the world to us. Don't forget to come back tomorrow for our last day of the 12 days of Christmas. We'll have one more recipe in this series. And remember that you are always welcome to come sit at my table. Have a great day and Merry Christmas.